Welcome to a very, very special show. But before we get started, I have something very interesting that I want to do. Take out your smartphone and take a look at it. See the number of apps you have. You have an app for shopping, an app for chatting, an app for calling a cab, one for watching movies. Aren't you spending more time scrolling through your phone, finding the right app at that moment than actually using your phone properly? Well, today, we may have a perfect solution for you. And it's called Mine. No, not Mine as in Rajiv's, but Mine, India's first super app. An all-in-one app which lets you do so many things, multiple things. Shop, work, chat, be social, create and browse content, all from within one single app. But wait, if you're excited, I'm just getting warmed up, I'm just getting started. There's so much more. Mine is promising 100% ad-free environment and complete data privacy. It will be just you and your multiple personas using different parts of the app at different times of the day as you go through your daily life. Now that's really going to change our social media experience, isn't it? So this is Mine, a super app and beyond. Mine and NDTV are now coming together in partnership, and with me today is NDTV's own Dr. Prannoy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. And
you are NDTV's own.
No.
Yes.
Dr. Roy, always. NDTV's own starts with Dr. Prannoy Roy.
No.
And of course, a very, very special guest, Mr. A.S. Rajgopal, founder of Mine. Welcome and thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Doctor.
I'm going to start off by asking you a question. Fantastic app. We'll talk a lot more about it. I have so many questions, and I think the audience will also. But first, about this partnership between NDTV and you. Two technology leaders coming together. I know it makes a lot of sense, but why did you take the decision of this partnership?
No, I think both organizations are inspired by technology, content and communication. That's a very natural alliance that happened. And when we had our first discussion, there were so many ideas we could work on together. So we thought this is the right way to do it.
No, fantastic. But you know, the part that at this present moment I know is on everybody's mind, the entire audience that is watching.
On mine?
Is on, yes.
Everybody, sorry.
Yes, there we go again, right? But Dr. Roy, don't you think that the most important question everybody will be having right now will be, what's a super app?
Exactly.
Right? So before I get you to answer what's a super app, and I know you have many questions right now, I'm going to just go out. We went out on the streets. We tried to find out from people. What is India's super app? What did they think?
इंडिया का सुपर ऐप कौन सा है, तो आप क्या बोलेंगे?
अच्छा, इंडिया का कौन सा? I don't know.
सुपर ऐप मैं इसकी ज़्यादा ऐप यूज़ करता नहीं हूँ.
What's India super app?
Not exactly. I didn't know.
India super app. India super app. So I think someone who can really have an idea to deliver things at the doorstep.
सुपर ऐप.
इंडिया का कौन सा सुपर ऐप लगता है आपको?
India super app.
इंडिया का सुपर ऐप?
इंडिया का सुपर ऐप तो मेरे को ध्यान नहीं है कौन सा है.
No, not at all.
नहीं. समझा दोगे तो समझ जाएंगे.
And I think is absolutely right. समझाओगे तो समझ जाएंगे, and which is what our first question really.
And I must say from that it's clear that you are filling a gap that people are not aware of and needed today. So just explain so all these people understand what a super app is.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Right. So what happened was that we see millions of apps coming up every day. There is a choice that you have to make. A lot of times, even for one single use case, let's say taxi, I mean, you have multiple apps these days, so it's getting cluttered. The biggest problem with this verticalized approach is that your journey is not complete. For example, when I traveled to Delhi, I used maybe 2 or 3 apps to actually complete my journey.
Right.
I booked my ticket maybe about a week back, but I can't book my taxi. I'll have to book it. And then my hotel, I mean, that's it. So unless and until you have everything on one single app, you cannot actually give a seamless experience to a user. And you actually deliver that experience only when you have everything there. So our approach is to do a very horizontal approach, not these vertical niche approaches. We want to offer everything that most people use on a single app. And that's what is a super app. So this required us to really think through this thought process. Right. And kind of understand what most apps do. All apps do three simple things. I mean, they let you discover people, content or services and products. And then you interact with them in some form, and then you transact, you consume, you pay, things like that. These are the only three simple things, whether you buy something from a restaurant or hail a cab, or even when you watch a content. So what we did was we abstracted these three functionalities, and when you abstract these three functionalities, you can do every use case. These are the three fundamentals that make a super app.
So you're saying you go into Mine and you can book a cab, you can book a hotel, you can book a flight, you can do a chat with people, you can do all kinds of things on that one app. You don't have to have your screens full of all these hundreds of apps.
No, you can boot to Mine. I mean, there is no other app required on your phone. You also get entertained while you're traveling. I mean, it's...
You can watch movies on it?
You can, yes.
Wow.
Even now. Wow. There are hundreds of short movies on Mine.
Wow.
So I think the interesting part in this is that when he describes this is actually really true. What was supposed to be the next big thing, the holy grail, apps on a phone, has become a very cluttered ecosystem now, and most of the apps that we would use don't really talk to each other. They talk very well within their ecosystem, but like he said, if you want, I think super app, and you should also call it a life app. If you want to lead your life, you have to do many different things on many different apps to make it happen. So I think this is a fantastic
It simplifies your life, actually.
Right? So a life app.
And later you will get an experience that was never delivered with the siloed approach. It's a unified experience that you can get. Just imagine if you have to go to a doctor and then complete that journey, or you want to go to a movie. You come out of your movie and then you're looking for a cab. No, but you know when your movie ends. Let there be a cab waiting for you. That's what we can deliver when you have everything on one app.
One app.
That's fantastic. But where did the thought come from? Why is the super app like this so important here in India? Why is the Indian market? I know this is going to go worldwide, but you're starting from here. Why is it so important here in India?
I think actually one of the things is India actually helped me build another enterprise before, and we were fairly successful. When we looked at everything that we did there, when we were confined to Indian market, we thought India makes, India contributes to almost every company technologically worldwide. We thought we should deliver a great product to the world from India. That was our first thought. And then we start putting our mind to it. It became a super app because we couldn't solve one problem without solving the other problem. For example, you use a map to go from one place to another, you're leaking information. You chat with somebody, you leak information. So when we looked at this whole ecosystem, you were leaking information from every angle. So we thought if we could build a super app which has everything in it, you don't have to actually leak your private information and then impact your data privacy. And that's how it became a super app. So we were kind of forced to build a super app because principally we were committed to ensuring that there is data privacy assured.
So data privacy is the other big advantage over having several apps. As you exchange, data gets leaked, etc. But here, no data will be leaked? Your personal data will not be leaked?
No, none at all. So we also don't maintain any of the data centrally in one place. We just disaggregate it so that even if it's stolen, it's stolen. It's stolen as a small piece which has got no meaning to it. So it was architected to ensure data privacy. But Dr. Roy, it's more important that we actually solve data privacy at a different level, not at technology level. Our innovation, we are proud that it's actually a business model innovation. If you see any consumer digital app, it's all leveraging user data and influencing the user to buy more or do anything. Here we had to reinvent that piece. So the biggest innovation that we've brought is the business model where we can actually build and deliver this technology without selling user data and still make it into a business.
Right.
That's the innovation here.
Right.
See, technology-wise, it's so difficult to compete with these big players. They have a large user base, so much of data with them, and so much of resources, that we can't compete. So it's important that we had to actually reinvent this business model so that, they can't really hit us at that point.
So Rajiv, every app actually kind of makes money from you've looked up a jacket. I'm going to look up this jacket next. But there's no you're looking up and then they'll inform advertisers make money out of that. Is that
That's pretty much, I mean, that's the backbone of almost every large organization that is in the same field, right? Because data and
Selling
selling
private
data,
information,
advertisements,
No,
and
Dr. Roy, actually I have a point, Rajiv. I mean, 1 in 2 ads now is influenced by your private conversations.
Can you, private conversations also?
Yes, I mean, 1 in 2 ads that is coming to you today is because you've had a conversation with somebody, not on the phone. That's been listened to, and then you're being influenced.
Is that actually, everybody experiences it, like you're talking about, oh, I wouldn't mind going out to a restaurant, and suddenly a whole lot of things. People actually listen, and you thought that was a myth.
No, it is a data
it's
point.
not a myth. I think it's a data point. I think part of it, when your emails go out and you use an email service provider, and suddenly you come out of that email and all your ads have dramatically changed because you did ask a query, or you suddenly go out and do a search term and everything dramatically changes to that.
Yeah.
You go to a website and you look for, let's say, art in your house, and suddenly only painting ads will be coming to you. So I think that's what, but I do want to get into a lot more detail, because by the very fact that you say this is zero ads, no data is getting leaked, you're not going to sell the data of your users either. So then the business model completely intrigues me, but I'm going to come to that, because one of the things that I think we should do is, I think, give everybody a little bit of a demo on what Mine is all about. So take a look. This is what this super app is and can do.
One sign-in, one platform, one user experience for virtually any product or service a customer may want or need. That is Mine for you, a super app. Launched less than a year ago at a massive ground event that saw the best content creators coming together under one roof, the Mine app is integrated with the Persona feature that bundles My World, My Local, My Own, and My Work, each addressing a different facet of our day-to-day life. Let's have a look. My World presents content from professionals where users can choose the kind of content they want to see. They can also create and share content for the world to see. My Local is an amplification of the government's Vocal for Local stance. It puts users in touch with local e-commerce, pretty much any service or product near them, through its unique map interface, and that includes cab rides. In fact, with a commission-free model, cab drivers are empowered with absolute ownership of their service in monetary terms. My Local enables proximity commerce. It puts local traders on the digital map so users can shop from local stores right in their vicinity. My Own is a secure space to chat, call, and store. It promises and ensures complete chat privacy and high-quality file sharing to users. My Own also offers an encrypted cloud storage for all digital assets. My Work is where business communication and collaboration are unified to provide a safe, secure, and multifunctional hub for teams within an enterprise on web and mobile. It comes with a separate dedicated instance for the enterprise and facilitates a communication suite for full-fledged quality text, audio, and video calls that boost team and individual engagement. My TV is a one-of-a-kind ad-free streaming service for users to enjoy diverse, quality, and original content from multiple creators, accessible across web, mobile, and smart TV. The Mine app also gives individuals control of their personal data via their strict data privacy policies, and also has an ad-free space for enhanced user experience. But it isn't just online personas that Mine deals with. Outside the virtual world of the super app, Mine organizes and partners with some of the biggest events across the country. So, local or global, professional or social, whatever your persona, it is likely to be on Mine.
Wow, now look, that is called a super app. Look at the amount of things you can do on it. But I think I'm going to come right back to the conversation I was having with you before we gave that demo. Just take us through the business model. Anybody and everybody is going to ask you that question. This is a massive platform you've built, but you don't have ads and you do not sell data. You're not even going to aggregate the data. So how do you make even sustenance out of this?
Yeah. Number one, no ads was actually extension of the principle that, we should commit to data privacy, because if I allow people to put ads, these advertisers would ask me for some information about my users.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give it, so I didn't want to get there at all. So it's basically a principled decision. Of course, it gives a great user experience because, there are no interruptions. But so what we're doing is that we want to deliver this as a technology enabler, which actually enables a provider and a consumer. And since the provider is making money out of it, we charge a small subscription fee from them. Okay. So whether it's a content creator or a retailer or a cab driver or anybody else or an employee, they pay a small subscription fee.
Can you give an example? Let's go with the cab part of it. So can you give us an example on, let's say, a cab driver that takes a subscription from you? What does that entail? What does he pay? How does it work? Do you then not take anything? Suppose I take a cab, my bill is 100 rupees. That 100 goes directly to the cab driver, nothing to you?
This is one of the strongest value propositions today, because people are just queuing up to join us in Bangalore. What we charge a cab driver is 2,999 rupees. It's 3,000 rupees that we charge on a monthly basis. Okay. What typically he pays today is between 16 to 32,000 rupees to a taxi aggregator, which could be any other taxi aggregator. So number one, he pays me 1/10 of what he pays the others. But the most important thing that happens is these guys are micro enterprises, in the sense they've taken a loan, at least 8 lakh rupees, created a cab, and then they're driving it, they're maintaining it, they're fueling it. They take home between 17,000 rupees if you're working on a 10-hour shift. If you have to go more than that, you need to work far more number of hours to actually make some decent living out of a cab. So by removing the commission and charging them only 3,000 rupees for as a subscription, we are doubling their income. And the beauty is, since this is a micro enterprise, they don't need to pay GST tax on it. So user doesn't pay tax. So there's 5% less already, and there's no surge fee because we follow only a government stipulated per kilometer rate that's already there. Okay. So what happens is, taxi driver doubles his income, user pays less. Okay. And it's just possible because the thought of business model is different. It's just that we decided we won't sit between the transaction and take a cut out of it.
That's actually very reassuring for users. Users are not paying anything, they're not losing their information. It's a business who wants to be on your platform that pays. And I guess as you get more and more users, that rate will go up.
No, see, we could actually make it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper for businesses. Even now, if you see, most use cases, we were talking to a large enterprise. They were trying to build an app because, they thought that's the next digital transformation. But when I can deliver the same use case, it was let's say they want to put a kitchen shop, kitchen accessories shop, and give the same experience that their app would give on mine, why would they build the app? So it actually reduces the cost even for the business.
Oh, right.
For the retailer, we are just charging 299 rupees a month, and people don't even bother looking at whether it really costs, because it doesn't make any significant dent anywhere.
Right.
And they can come in and create a complete e-commerce platform out here for 299 rupees?
Yeah. So you list your products, people will buy, and that's it. And why is this possible? It's possible because technology today is so mature. You should use it to actually enable the society. So what we're doing is we are disaggregating the value. See, earlier all the value, since it's a vertical approach, the value was aggregated to one business. Today what we're doing is we're splitting the value. We are keeping some, we are leaving some with the business, and some of the value is going to the user. So it's a pretty horizontal, typical business model.
Now, one of the part that really was something that is of great interest to me and to, I think, a lot of people watching right now would be when you spoke about content creators, right? So you said again in that also, there are no ads, so they cannot get any ad money from you, right? Their data is not being leaked, so there's really nothing that anybody else can do. So how does a content provider come on to you, and why would they take a subscription? What do they get? What do you provide them?
We already have 600 of them on mine.
Okay. Must be doing something right.
Yeah, no, and about 7,500 videos on mine. There are short movies, there's music content. This is original content that people are creating. See, what happens is that YouTube and there are many platforms where people can make money on content, but that happens at a very, very tiny percentage of the population, and the others just don't make any money.
Right.
So they become influencers. There are other things that they do because the currency becomes your followers on Instagram.
Right.
But what we are saying here is that instead of creating a good content, putting it somewhere and then hoping that you get money because you put ads on it and stuff like that, you come here, even if you charge a rupee, you kind of get much better value. I'll give you an example. Recently I worked with a music director in Mumbai, and we put a song on YouTube. We had 5.4 million views. The music director got paid $517.69.
$500.
$500.
For 5 million views.
For 5 million views. Whereas YouTube made $590,000 for in ad money on that. So you're getting paid 1,000th of what the value that is there actually. That value has to be translated to the creator. This person who's created that content created those 5.4 million views. The money should go to him.
Right.
It is just actually an incredible business model. If you think about it, they're taking away some of the biggest pain points we have. So what you spoke about, suddenly having a conversation and the ads become all about that private conversation.
Yeah, a lot of people face that.
So that is getting fixed here. The content creators, the cab aggregators, everybody else seems to be, actually this is a win-win for almost everybody, and especially for the user. I think this is...
yeah, you know, as you say, content creators, authors, musicians, they get much more than with these big enterprises who are just giving them, you know, hardly any royalty. That's ridiculous low amount that you mentioned.
They charge a rupee per view, they'll make far more money than what they've ever made.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what we need to propagate, and this is they put in a lot of effort to create this content.
Of course, of course.
Let's move on to one of the other things which I think is the biggest thing that we all do. If you really track what are the apps that we use the most on our phones, it'll always be about messaging and conversations, right? Those are the most used. Now that is of course a big USP. How are you different from all the other big players when it comes to your communication, messaging and chat app?
The problem today is that I think the messaging is not context central in the sense that whether you are at office, at work, whether you're with your friends, whether you're with your family, or whether you are, in the world, I mean, like just alone, the chat remains the same. It's important that we segregate these interactions. The reason being, the way you behave with your friends, with your family is very different. I mean, even as a father I behave differently, as a son I behave differently. So the first thing that we did was we segregated these personas in the sense that the interactions that you have in each of these contexts, whether it is while you are shopping, traveling and all, or whether you're with your friends or whether you are at work, we've segregated these interactions. That's the first thing that we did, so that your context is set well. And then you can project yourself the way you want within that context. In the sense, let's say, I mean, with my friends, I want to be called Raj. I mean, right? I mean, so you can have an independent profile to that context, which is relevant to that context, which maybe, you know, what your childhood friends called you. I mean, you can have a contextual group. So we did quite a lot of innovation around segregating these.
Rajiv, what was your nickname? Or you don't want to say it publicly?
Not at all. I mean, that would be a super embarrassment.
Oh, God.
Then we looked at what else are the pain points. See, today when we are collaborating, we are not collaborating in chunks of 25 MB. We each share videos, we share documents, even content which is being shared today. I mean, there are serious limitations on the chat apps that are available today. So we just thought we'll break that. So today you can send anything in the chat. Of course, you can have a voice and a video call. You can have a group call. All that you can do, but most important thing is that you can just send anything of any size. I mean,
that is just a huge change, because it's a restriction. If I've got a presentation or a movie I've made, I mean, a clip, you can't send it on many of these groups. Even on email it's tough. You have to go through a drive or you have to work on, other complicated procedures. But here, if I've got a heavy PowerPoint presentation, I can send it on your chat?
Yeah, 2 GB is the artificial limit we set.
2 GB.
2 GB.
Not 2 MB. I think others are like...
No, others are at 25 MB.
25 MB and yours 2 GB.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, almost 100 times bigger size.
Yeah, very rarely do you hit that.
Do you hit that?
2 GB would, of course, as you said, when you send your movie, so we're very intrigued. What is this movie? Have you produced, directed or acted?
That is about 100 GB. You'll never get it.
It's in 16K, not 4K,
16K.
not 8K. The format that is still to be invented.
Just wait. Yeah. Who knows?
I think I'm sure both of us really want to. All these things that he's spoken about, I think we should get a small demo of it. But before that, I think we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'd love to take a look at how the segregation that you spoke about, the way the entire app and all the other ecosystems work together. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll actually get a demo right here for mine. Welcome back, and like I promised, we are going to get now a demo, and especially from you, this should be a very interesting demo. We're going to come to know what are your favorites in your own app.
Yeah, I think I would start, we should start with my favorite, because, so Rajiv, what we've done is, as I told you, we wanted to segregate 4 personas in the sense, me as a person who's in the world at large, basically. So I basically consume content and do things. So what we've done is we call that section called My World. In that there are, first thing we wanted to do was we wanted to segregate professional content and user-generated content.
Right.
One of the things that we are very, very sensitive about is that I want news to be consumed from a news agency like yours. I don't want news to be consumed from any other informal channel, because it doesn't have that authenticity.
True.
The effort. So we want to really promote interest. So we are not just going to do only entertainment. We have 10 interest areas, including news, to education, to entertainment, comedy, etc. So you follow based on your interest.
Okay.
You don't follow people here.
And language?
You can put any language.
You can put any. Okay,
you can put any language.
Yeah.
So right now I have Kannada, I have few Bengali.
Bengali.
Yes.
Now it will be a success.
You said that specially, right?
Yeah. Now I'm searching for that. So these are the interests. So like for example, in entertainment there are short stories, there is web series, there is business, we can have business news there, and travel, education. So but this is professionally produced content by somebody who's interested in building a career out of professional content. So this is not offered to everybody. We offer it to only people by invite.
Okay.
So that's so that we remove the clutter. We have professional content at one section and user generated content at the other section. This is user generated content. This is any user can post anything. There are no limits. You can put whatever you want.
A lot of people are getting famous and are followed a lot because of just user generated. They have personality, they are articulate, they talk about important issues. The world is changing in the sense that there are no barriers to entry.
Yeah, and we don't want to promote just the entertainment piece of it. There are so many people who are producing good content which is knowledgeable. And we can promote all that. So a natural transition would be a popular user transitions to a professional. That professional area is called My TV.
Okay.
So it's TV. It's available as an app on any of the smart TVs, so you can watch it in 4K. So all the movies that are, videos that are posted there have to be at least 4K.
So a subset of this app is available on a smart TV as My TV.
Yeah, because you produce nice movie, you want to see it on big screen.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest aspirations of most content creators. Because they want to see themselves on, not just on the smartphone, but the detail that they put into their creativity should be visible.
On a bigger screen. Yeah.
So that's about my world. I mean,
Right.
this is where you get
Nice, very
entertained. But it's not entertainment, it's your interest. It's and then you have my local. So one of the first things that happened, so we wanted to promote local commerce, local products, local goods. Not that, that's you're limited by it, but the thought is that if it's available locally, it is delivered to you in a much more trustworthy, entity. In the sense, I mean, this is that shop who's been serving you for many years, and if he has the product, if you buy it from him, if you have some issues on quality, you know whom to talk to. I mean, or you have certain level of trust that is built into it. Most important thing that's missing in e-commerce is that you can't bargain. The beauty about local shop is you go and bargain, right? That's a very important, gratification that you get.
So is there a bargain button? Like,
you can chat with him and negotiate. I mean, you can do that.
Pretend you want something else when you want this thing, that sort of...
Yeah, but that's what you go through. Sorry, I'm in Delhi now. So,
right.
Okay, so so for us, we wanted to have, let's try and get it to as much physically, how we do it in the physical world, right? So map became our foundation. But I couldn't use any of the popular maps because at the moment I use it, I'm giving away your location and whom you're chatting, what you're doing and all that. So we built our own map.
Oh. Wow.
So we took open maps and then we are building layer by layer on our own, because it was compromising our commitment to data privacy. So the first big challenge we had with my local was that, while we can have taxis and retail and all that, but they can't be on popular map platforms that are there. Yeah. So we built our own.
So before you go forward, this is a gigantic project. There are companies that only do maps and they are huge, right? And all of this is a make in India? Is this everything being done here? Is this
very young kids, from India.
How old is the average age of somebody in mine?
23 years is the average age.
23? Same age as him?
Yeah, this is amazing. I will fit right in.
No, but Rajiv, these guys never go home. They are actually working, whenever they're awake. So,
that's just
they're just so excited about what they're creating.
Actually, that is a very smart thing you've done, because there is a gap between us and Rajiv, 23-year-olds. There is a gap. So you decided you will go for that, and you have your son involved, who's also just 23. Yeah. And he must be much better than you, by the way.
These guys teach every day. They teach us so much.
Yes, they always do to us. The new generation are just...
And they're not scared. There are no inhibitions. When I approach a problem versus the way they approach, they don't have the inhibition.
Amazing. Yeah.
This required a lot of bold things to do, right?
Yeah, I was asking that, a super app means so many different things. Then within each there are details and textures within each part. Like, okay, for the local, they're building their own map. So from the time this was just a thought in your mind, or whoever else is part of this entire organization and this thing, to now, how long has it been?
I think it took 2 years to build.
I would think so.
Because it is one of the most loaded, most advanced apps in the world. You can't compete. The number of technologies that are gone into it to actually make this happen, there is no app that comes anywhere close.
And this is Android and iOS both?
Yeah, yes, Android and I'm using it on iOS, but
Rajiv,
Android.
you were saying like these youngsters, 23-year-old, they have a different outlook on which apps they use.
Absolutely.
They reject everything.
They reject legacy, anything which is, because the brand has been around for 80 years, they're like, that does nothing for me. What can you do for me now?
Actually,
it's the exact
opposite. So that's one of the things you must have gained a lot by having youngsters, right? So
I wanted to also just bring up one more thing. This incredible record that you've actually had in Bangalore, where 10,000 cab drivers, the empowerment that you gave us the reason why. It's a very obvious thing why anybody would want to sign up, but 10,000. Yeah, that's an incredible number to have.
Yeah, we're doing, 10,000 was a few days back. We're doing 700 plus per day.
Per day?
Wow. And this is purely walk-in. We are not going anywhere. We have an office near the airport, and now we're trying to open one more office because it's too crowded. So they all walk in and they register.
It's just me word of mouth. It was obviously they're all gaining from it and they're telling everybody else, you better get onto this. Wow.
We did few more things, actually, Dr. Roy. What we did was, since we are in such a nice position of actually having all of them on our platform, we thought we will add to their health aspects, because most taxi drivers, we realize, are well insured for life, because the taxi itself is on is on EMI. I mean, so it's finance. So finance insists on insurance, but that's life. But the big problem is when they actually fall sick, because they are the bread earner. So we just thought first we'll solve it by actually adding health insurance to them. So we are giving 5 lakh rupees health insurance to these guys.
Wow. That's part of the register.
Yeah.
That's theirs.
And we thought, we did something great, but that was not enough, because these guys don't really take care of their health. This is only, we are giving a financial solution to a problem. So now what we are doing is we are testing everybody for, including the spinal cord. Wow. So everybody goes through a medical health checkup twice in a year.
Wow.
And we are aggregating that information, and we've got a doctor now who's working with us on few things. He wants to see whether, this occupation has got certain hazards and what they should do. In the short term, what we did is we created a small playground for them next to our office so that they can play football and cricket.
Wow.
This thing can be really, we can do some amazing things with this. It's just not tech and apps and all. We can do quite a lot of amazing things.
They pay you 2,999 rupees, and then I had asked you a question that, that's it? That's all they pay? The rest of whatever the customer pays goes directly to them? Can you give me an example? Like I said, 100
That's
rupees
huge,
is my bill.
In the app, what happens is, number one thing that we do is we tell the driver where you want to go. Because many times the reason for cancellation is the driver doesn't know where you are going in the current apps that he uses. So first of all, we want to tell the driver that here there is a passenger who's ready to go from here to there. Are you willing to accept? So he accepts a ride. The moment he accepts a ride, obviously on your side, you know how much you pay, because the distance is calculated and it's multiplied by a government accepted. In Bangalore, the rate is 24 rupees per kilometer. There is no surge mandated by government. We don't charge surge. So user benefits, first thing is that there is no surge, irrespective of what time of day it is, whatever it is. And the taxi driver knows where he's going, so the probability of accepting dramatically goes up. So he accepts the ride.
And reduction of cancellations.
It will reduce
because you say yes, the driver says yes, then he suddenly, he's going there, cancelled. That won't happen because he already knows where you're going.
And a lot of times you would have noticed this guy is asking you to give cash, cancel the ride and give cash. The reason being he wants to avoid the commission. So in our case, what happens is, I have shown you a rate of, let's say, 300 rupees from going point A to point B. That entire 300 rupees goes to the driver.
Okay.
That's amazing.
That's I think the game changer here for this. And this is in Bangalore now, but you have a nationwide rollout very, very soon.
Yeah, by the end of August we'll be there wherever it matters in India. We should be there in 7 more cities.
All right, that's fantastic. So now I can come across to your house anytime without paying surge charges.
So that's about My Local, right? And then you have My Own. My Own is where you actually work with your you collaborate with your friends, your family, and then you can have your own segregated. So it's just like any other popular, chats. But the most important thing is very, very powerful, because you can just about send anything of up to 2 GB in size. But what's happening is when people are sharing information, there are certain things which become very valuable to you. You want to store it. It's a memory or it's something that's... So we've added storage to it. So every user gets storage, and there are certain we're trying to actually tell them how to organize the storage. So we've created certain folders.
This is by default. You'll
by
get
default,
documents,
every
data,
user gets
video.
an encrypted storage, which I don't have access.
Okay. So this is encrypted, 2 GB given to everybody.
15 GB given to every user.
All encrypted.
All encrypted. Wow. And this is my work. In my work, actually, that section actually morphs to your profession. It starts with, let's say if it's a cab driver, this is where you accept your rides. If you are a shop owner, this is where you list your products and put pricing to it and stuff like that. But if you're an employee, this is where you collaborate within your office.
Right.
What I have done is we've gone a little one step further in the company that I founded earlier, NxtGen. I mean, we have 1738 partners in 14 cities and towns in India. We've got all the partners to collaborate on one single platform and sell to each other, not just sell to our customers. And the beauty is I have all of them available on one single chat. So I go, I want to chat with anybody. Everybody is at one place, and this is secure to my company. It is not, it can sit in my cloud, your server, or Amazon, wherever you want to put it. So it is your data, your segregated chats, you are sharing between the employees, and it is secure.
Wow.
It is your own instance. And it facilitates amazing collaboration. We are trying to get rid of email, especially internally we've stopped using email because we chat and take decisions. It's ridiculously quick.
Yeah.
First of all, the way you write the message changes when it's chat.
Yeah, yeah.
You stop starting with dear sir and all that, right? I mean, so it
The whole
becomes very
approach
agile.
changes, yes, yes. When you're moving from email to an app, chat app, then you...
Yeah, my approval messages are like 2 lines now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're 3 pages. I mean, you know, there's history, geography, background.
Right.
Yeah, it's fostering a lot of agility, and we believe this can take. And for a college student, this becomes my campus instead of my work.
Okay.
So their campus activities are there. Today we have, I think, 500 plus campus ambassadors in 500 plus colleges.
Wow.
They do beautiful things, I mean, and very, very exciting things at the
I
campus.
think one of the very exciting things we talked a little bit about earlier is your privacy aspect, that everything, you even don't have access to anything that users have. So are you going to launch this globally? Because many countries internationally have very strict privacy rules, others don't have. So where countries have strict privacy rules, this will be particularly attractive. So are you thinking of going global?
100%. Actually, India will take time to appreciate privacy, I mean, because they still are not able to put a value to it. Let me give you an example. In Europe, which is 1/3 our population, right? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it's much less than that perhaps. 1/3 our population, they have fined the big tech companies $30 billion last 3 years.
Yes.
In the same breath, I mean, if you compare it, we should be paid $90 billion last 3 years. If I had that kind of money, I think we can have so many more schools and colleges that... $90 billion. So
that's the value of privacy.
Yeah, I think Europe has taken it to another level.
These are penalties for not having enough security and privacy. That's what it is. So it's valuing privacy, as you mentioned, is it? Okay.
All related to privacy related fines, I mean, that have been delivered. So these guys, and they're just getting tougher and tougher. And today you can fine, in UK, it can fine up to 5% of your revenue for infringing data privacy. 5% of your revenue. Wow. I think penalties should be strong, because I mean, if it's small, people just pay penalty and move on. That's what they've been doing.
Absolutely.
They paid 30%, so I think Europe has realized.
Yeah, it's a very small little hand slap for a very, very large thing. Yeah, that's true.
So I think Europe is a very lucrative market for us, so we want to go to UK first. And we want to go to Australia along with UK. The reason being, I think personally I've read 2100 pages of privacy law, one of the most comprehensive privacy laws. Even in news, I mean, today here in India, Google can aggregate your news and make money out of it. You can't do that in Australia. So Australia has got one of the most comprehensive laws, and I think we will be very successful there as well. So first step outside India will be two countries, Australia and UK.
I have a lot of questions about the future, because, you know, we in India now stand on a very, very different, an almost revolution, right? Smartphones now finally coming down to around 5,000 rupees, and they are not mediocre compromise devices, they are perfect devices. 5G around the corner finally, right? It's not just something which we keep talking about, it's going to happen now, right? And then youth, people some people that are using their phones for the first time, some people moving from a feature phone to a smartphone for the first time. So we're poised on an incredible revolution right now. How do you plan to use all these technologies coming together? Because it's never happened anywhere in the world before. How do you take advantage of this?
I think many professions have skipped the PC in India, and that will continue because maybe if you're in college, you're doing coding, you have got a PC, but many others don't use. I mean, there is no reason for you to use a PC, so that's what is possible. So there are some amazing things that are on the horizon. The first thing that will happen is 5G. What 5G will do is that it will do an amazing connectivity at the last mile. I don't know how long it will take to go to the depth of India as a country, but it will create some very good use cases for businesses to actually leverage that.
Because the range of 5G, I mean, it's strong, but the range is much less than...
an antenna gives you 2 kilometer radius.
2 kilometers, yeah. Compared to, say, 3G, 4G?
Yeah, but
5G more wide spectrum.
Like about 10 kilometers compared to 2
It can go 10 kilometers. I think the real limitation is number of users. So it shrinks as the number of users.
Oh, I see. So you need lots more so-called towers or their equivalent of towers. They're not quite towers.
Yeah. So people we will have antennas on street lights. I mean, that's what will happen with 5G. We don't really need it on that big tower. Right. The second thing is the emergence of AR/VR. I mean, so we can genuinely look at, helping content creators to create more unique experience, especially in education. Using AR/VR to actually explain stuff there are some amazing possibilities.
Are you already working on Mind Meta?
No, we want to work with partners to actually help us create these pieces. I think for us, we have a very big task in hand. We want to just focus on this piece, not just get diverted by these. See, we are struggling, we are trying to deliver some experience on mobile, right? My big problem today is that we are not delivering 4G to a good quality. I mean, you can't have a reasonable conversation on 4G. So I think India benefits quite a lot if 4G becomes really 4G everywhere, and then they have a uniform experience. At NxtGen, we are working on doing edge compute locations.
Right.
So mine will leverage the edge. So what we'll do is we'll take content closer to the user. By the design, what we're doing is, let's say we go to UK, all UK data will sit within UK, so that you can apply local jurisdiction to it and you apply local laws to it.
Right.
And user has that comfort that we are complying to the local laws.
This is fantastic and really, really incredible. And I think the amount of thought process that has gone into this. It's textured and layered.
You make us feel proud as Indians.
Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations again. I see this to be, like I said, a complete game changer in every which way. It's for people to discover and people to actually experience, and I think they'll understand the power of what you're creating.
Yeah, Dr. Roy and Rajiv, you need to help us communicate this because there's a lot that we're doing with a very good intent. If you're able to communicate to the users and there is more adoption, we'll be more successful.
Absolutely.
We are very proud of what you're doing, and it is a remarkable step forward. So it's worth propagating and helping people understand exactly. But you did a very clear exposition today.
Absolutely. I mean, I know the app like the back of my hand now. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Roy. Pleasure as always.
Thank you very much.
And thank you everybody for joining us on this very special show. And like I said, this is a very, very interesting app. So I would urge you, take a look at it. It's available on Android and iOS. It's MYN. Do download it and experience it. And we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for being with us.